Hosts Igor Mitic from Serbia, Europe, and Andy Vernon from Concord, New Hampshire. We are about pride, tradition, sweat, tears, victory, and determination of Boston sports. Give us a ring at 512-543-4662. Be sure to download the Try99 TV app on any smart device and subscribe to In the Zone Sports Talk Television. The cost is $4.95. Thank you in advance for your support. Now, let's get into the Shamrock Sports Talk Show. Well, hello, and thank you for tuning in to the In the Zone Sports Talk Show Network, LLC, where you can find the best in sports talk television and radio shows. Mondays, check out the Just Us Sports Talk Show from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with your hosts, Kevin L. Dixon and Dana Clark. Then Tuesday, we have the Stars Talking Cowboys Sports Show from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern with your hosts, Sean Fox, K Boogie, and Cowboys Nikki. And on Wednesday, tune in for the Out the Block Sports Talk Show from 8:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with hosts Robert Lewis, Donna Hainsworth, and Brett Shields. Then meet up with us on Saturday for the Enhanced Sports Talk Show from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern with hosts Lou Tenor and Steve Davidson. We also have the DMV Sports Talk Show from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern with your host, Razul McGee. As well, we have the Shamrock Sports Talk Show from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern with Igor Mitic and Andy Vernon. Finally, rounding out the week, we have on Sunday, That's Not How We See It Sports Talk Show from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern with your host, Alfred Wallace, Tony Wallace, and Harold Robinson III. These shows come to you by way of the In the Zone Sports Talk Show Network, LLC. Be sure to download the Try99 TV app on any smart device and subscribe to In the Zone Sports Talk Television. The cost is $4.95. Thank you in advance for your support.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of Shamrock Sports Talk Show with Igor and Andy. This evening we are full squad, to say that way, or we are complete because right by my side you can see on the screen, or you can see, but you will hear on the screen, Mr. Andrew Vernon after a couple of weeks off with us. Thank you, Andy. How are you doing tonight? This is show number 42. We are discussing the two season openers games. First of all, Wednesday night in New York, it's always good to silence Madison Square Garden, 108-104, a little harder than expected, but exciting game to watch. Then Miami Heat, 119-111 win. A lot of takeaways. But first of all, Andy, to say, at least from my side, I think that John Corrales was talking about disclaimer. This is the new team, okay? And everybody that is expecting that the Celtics should play like Denver Nuggets right away. Denver Nuggets, the champs, couple of years together with the core, they are just out of their mind. For me, the first preseason was just, first games together. First 12 games of the regular season actually are the preseason for me. And then we have like 70 games of the regular season, like a warm-up for the real thing that is the playoffs. We can discuss, we can, find takeaways, impressions, good things, bad things, but right now, these games, except of course the wins are counting at the standings, everything else should be thrown out of the window, pretty much. But it's always nice to start the season 2-0, right?
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely a good start to the season. And yeah, I agree with you. I think it's way too early to make any sort of assumptions or judgments about this team.
It's a new team. It's a new core. The people need time to just gel together. You can see the Denver Nuggets. Okay, you can discuss the Denver Nuggets. They lost couple of players, but they are playing like a champ. These folks on the picture together, this new core, they are playing the first two games, regular season games, official games together. Plus, we have a couple of other guys at the bench. Oshie Brissett played last night. Horford, Pritchard. We have Daniel Banton. We have Svi Mihaljuk. We have Cornet with potentially bigger role this season. We have a couple of other guys. Pretty much not only that the core has been changed, but also the bench has been changed. We will discuss about the games. These stats are from last night's Miami game. Let's start, Andy, with Miami game. You can see on the screen that I will try to find the pictures from Miami game. You can see on the screen the numbers, and the numbers are pretty even in the starting five. But the hero of the game is, for me, Derrick White. 28, 6, 3 blocks, 9 of 15 field goals. I think that we had 17 blocks, and he had 3 blocks. Mr. Derrick White here. I will remove accumulative stats in order you guys to see his particular stats, even though you can see them on the screen. Never mind. So Derrick White is having. I will change the picture. 28, 6, 3, 9 of 15 shooting. I think that he had something like 4 of 6 or 5 of 7 for threes, including 5 of 7 for threes, including, thank you, Andy, for including 14 fourth period points. He took over the game. He played both ends of the floor, similar to Jrue Holiday. Jrue Holiday didn't take over the game, but Derrick White took over the game. Also, in sounds of the game, if you watched ESPN, you could see that he has become the vocal leader. Okay, this is only one game or two games, but what I love to see is that he is the one who is talking. Maybe this is the case because Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum are shy. They are not the loudest guys on the world, but Al Horford is talking also. But Time Lord is not here anymore. Smart is not here anymore. But Derrick White, he said he tried to be a leader, and the intensity of our backcourt of Derrick White and Jrue Holiday. This is amazing, man. We have 2 great blocks. Jrue Holiday, I forgot. He blocked Jimmy Butler, I think, and Kristaps Porzingas from the back, from the behind. He chased down the player and blocked one of the blocks spectacular that will be in top 10. Maybe this was amazing. So our defensive identity is starting from our guards, and I love it. And we have two great defensive guards, I believe. What do you say?
Yeah, I think that I think defense definitely does start. I think what did they combine for 4 or 5 blocks in that game? I don't remember what it was.
Yes.
Uh,
Yeah. Hmm.
and I think that's a place where Drew Holiday kind of brings a level of defense that Marcus Smart didn't. Because Holiday, to me, anyway, is like he's just a little bit better at getting in there to block shots. Smart, I think, was maybe a little bit better at contesting. So I
Hmm.
think there's a difference there. But I also think the other thing that really impressed me is the fact that in these 2 games, it's been different guys that kind of carried the scoring for
Absolutely.
this team.
Absolutely.
And the fact that Derek White is able to step up and be a primary scorer and lead the team in scoring, that says a lot about him. It says a lot about how much the Celtics and his teammates trust him. It also
Uh-huh.
says a lot about his confidence level going into this season. And Derek White's a guy that,
Uh-huh.
remember, we said was kind of like a sixth, seventh man, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
And,
yeah, yeah.
and right now, he looks like he's fully capable of being in the starting five, in the top five,
He was
consistently.
fighting. He was fighting for clutch time minutes when he came the first season. This is technically his third season, kind of in
Yeah.
Boston. He was traded 2 seasons before, so I mean he was not in the closing lineup when he came, and right now he's taking over the games like the closer, and in the closing lineup. I mean, this is fantastic. This is amazing prospect, and this is amazing progress of Derek White. Look how he's shooting threes. Look what he's doing on the defensive ends. Look how he's crushing the glass and how he's rebounding, and he's the guard. I mean, this is amazing.
hmm Well,
And
the other thing is keep in mind Drew Holiday, I think, either
Drew
led the
Holiday.
Celtics or tied with Horford for rebounds in that game.
You're talking Miami game, right?
Yeah, Miami game.
Miami game. I
I
will
believe
check in.
I
I
believe
will check
Holiday
in
had a
a
double.
moment.
I believe Holiday had a double double with 17 points and 10 rebounds.
Drew Holiday last night against Miami is having 17 points, 10 rebounds, and seven
Yeah,
assists. Right, right.
yeah, and I just want to
And
point out like how
Al
big that
Horford
is for
10
Boston.
rebounds. 10 rebounds, Al Horford 10 rebounds, Holiday 9 rebounds, Kristaps Porzingas.
Yeah, so my point is, like this team, rebounding is really in a lot of ways it is a defensive stat, especially defensive rebounds, and that just with this team, when we lost Time Lord, a lot of people were saying, oh well, we're going to take this big hit on the boards, but it looks like Boston can rebound just fine because we have a
Improved.
lot of height across the roster. Like we don't have a traditional big necessarily, but we have a lot of height and athleticism across the roster, and that's
But
something that really kind of stood out in the first 2 games.
I totally do not mind Kristaps Porzingis as a center. I think that he is good, solid rim protector. He's not Time Lord as a rim protector. Solid rim protector, uh, good rebounder for the heights, and solid lateral movements. Only he's missing some mess. You could see last night, for example, not the best game in the world, even though he is one rebound shy from double double. 17, 9, one assist, three steals, one block, one turnover. Kristaps Porzingis, he was minus 12. But 2 of 6 shooting. One, if he hits one more 3-pointer, he would be 50% shooting for threes. But you must keep in mind that this was back to back. I mean, second game in 3 days. So maybe the rest and traveling is having kind of influence on him, but also playing against Bema Debayo, we could see uh, some weaknesses of Kristaps Porzingas, but those are not necessarily weaknesses that are going to sink Boston Celtics ship, because we are too deep for the guys like Miami. And I'm confident if we meet this Miami team, we are going to defeat them 100%.
Yeah,
I
I
have
think so too. I think so too. I think Miami, like it was a close game. It was a really fun game to watch,
Yes, of
but
course.
I also feel like Miami played about as well as they could hope to play, whereas
Yeah,
Boston, I
yeah,
thought there were
yeah.
several areas we could improve. So I think to me, when I
Absolutely.
look at it, assuming there's no big in-season trades, if these two teams meet in the playoffs, Boston has a ceiling that's much higher than what we saw last night. Whereas Miami, I mean, like Tyler Hero hit some crazy shots. I don't know how he hit some of them. So I feel like Miami, like that's kind of about as good as they're going to get. Whereas Boston, I feel like we have room to improve, and I think that's the difference to me.
The race at the Eastern Conference definitely between Boston and uh, Milwaukee Bucks. I feel. On the other end,
Hmm.
again, I watched Phoenix. I watched Denver. Denver, despite losing a couple of players, they are looking like the champions. They are looking good. They are looking composed. Everybody knows their role. Everybody is moving. On the right spot on the offense. Everybody knows their spot on the defense. They have hierarchy on the offense. They have hierarchy in the defense. Absolutely, like I say, they are the champs, and the Celtics will need time to get to that level of togetherness. Let's say that way. But the Celtics are having high ceiling. And by the way, I want to comment. These two folks have good start as well. Giannis Antetokounmpo and Damian Lillard. I will put the banner in the moment. I want to comment with you, Jay Williams. I think is saying that. Already in the first game that they defeated, I believe, Philadelphia,
Hmm.
we saw togetherness, chemistry, and competitiveness of duo Damian Lillard and Giannis Antetokounmpo. He said, to paraphrase, that in the first game of the season, in which Damian Lillard was clutch, 39 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists. Giannis 23, 13, and 3 against Philadelphia. In this game, they showed that they are more better duo than Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown. Better fit. I'm only going to laugh with it. We will see. The time will tell. But I mean, to state something like this after one game, this is just the hot take, I believe. This is just not true. Jalen Brown and Jason Tatum, they had a lot of success, and they have been in the finals. Couple of, I mean, 3 or 4 or 5 Eastern Conference Finals, and you cannot not achieve that if you are not good teammate, if you are not good team. The bad
Yeah.
teams, they are not at this level like Boston is the last 5 6 years, with the last 7 years, to say, with Jalen Brown and Jason Tatum, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think at the end of the day, most of the analysts and media personalities who comment on the NBA, like they say things in order to get views and to get people to click on their videos and their articles, and a lot of doing that. I mean, look at Skip Bayless. Skip Bayless is a guy who has arguably some of the worst takes in sports
Takes.
journalism. but
Except
he
this guy
is.
Nick Wright, I think.
Yeah,
Nick
Nick
Wright
Wright's
is
another one. Like, but they're very
yeah,
successful because what they do is they put out these outrageous takes in order to
yeah,
get people to come back to watch them because, in sports media, bad publicity is better than no
yeah,
publicity.
yeah, yeah. Right, right, right.
I do think like Dame and Giannis are a very logical, kind of natural fit because, I mean, at the end
Mm.
of the day, Giannis has always done this drive and kick game, and Dame can shoot off the catch. At the same time, he can create his own shot. So it's not really surprising to me. It's also against the Sixers, and last I checked, like Tyrese Maxey is not exactly, like a elite defender.
Right, 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 right. Let's see how Damian Lillard is going to be against Jrue Holiday, our guy, or Derrick White. Anyway, what I want to say next, I want to express my absolutely that I absolutely fell in love with the first two games of Kristaps Porzingis, despite he didn't have the best game against Miami. He struggled against Bam Adebayo. Bam Adebayo used the drop coverage. Bam Adebayo shooted over Kristaps Porzingis and bullied him kind of with his mass, but Bam Adebayo is slicky. Again, this is from the Knicks game. He had four blocks. One of them you can see on the picture. We didn't have this kind of man in a long time. I would not go this far to say that we didn't have this kind of guy till Kevin Garnett, but this is close because look only to him to stay healthy. Look um, at the guy. You're looking at the guy who is 7'2", if I'm correct. 7'2", who is having solid playmaking skills, who is creating his own shoot of the dribble, who is scoring threes in high rate, who can play the defense, who has solid lateral quickness. And also, he is against the Knicks, one of 31 men in NBA history to post 30 points, 4 block, and 5 3 points made. It is the third time he's done it, and he did it in the season debut opening night and Madison Square Garden. I think that he's a rare Celtics player, if not the only, to score 30 points in his debut. So he was writing history in Madison Square Garden the other night. And to expand the talk, let's see him against other competition at his position, all-star centers. Let's see him against Jokic. Let's see him against Embiid. Let's see him against Giannis. But whatever I love, whatever he did on the court, I love what he's doing because he seems pumped up to play for the Celtics, and I saw hustle plays. You could see against Miami offensive rebound. I mean, couple of Miami players and Kristaps is getting the ball because he is 7'2", and you could see Paul Pierce sitting at the side of the court alongside my man Antoine Walker, applauding and smiling because they love when somebody is playing hustle plays. Diving on the floor or just trying sweating to get the win. So he has the right mentality, and again, this is what Jalen Brown, Jason Tatum missed. Absolutely, with Kristaps, we are having another dimension as a team, especially on the offense. Sky is the limit for this offense. What do you say?
Yeah, and I'd agree with that. One thing I would like to see them do more is take advantage of the way that he stretches the floor and pulls his defender out of the paint. Um, I mean, I think that is very valuable in pulling the defending big out of the paint, opening up driving lanes for Tatum and for Brown and White. They did take advantage of it some in both of these games, but I feel like it's something that we could exploit a lot more, and it's just a matter of Jalen, Jason, Derek White, of them getting better at making that decision on the drive, whether or not they're going to go in for the shot or they're going to go and kick it back out. And I think if we can work on that this season, Porzingis will elevate the offense even farther because you can't even sag off of him. Like, it's not just that he's a big man who shoots the three-pointer well, he shoots it very fast. He has a very fast shot.
Yeah.
And that means that you can't sag off of him the way you can some other stretch bigs because they have a slower shot. Because if he gets the ball, he's going to shoot it very quickly. You won't have time to take that extra step to close out. And that really should open up the paint a lot. And it's just a matter of Boston getting a little bit better. Maybe it's more so maybe positioning so that they start the drive from like the far side where the opposing big is even farther away from from the player who's driving in. I'm not exactly sure, but I think the more that we can exploit that, the better and better this offense will be.
I want to comment one detail from Miami game. I was watching ESPN broadcast. I mean, Burke just was getting on my nerves the whole night. But especially one situation in which he jumped like, oh, it was the Knicks ball. It was the Knicks ball. Derek White, I believe, when he was fouled, and Alex Spoelstra in the fourth period, he called the challenge. Derek White was fouled, okay, but the ball was lost for him. He crossed over the center, so he crossed in the Celtics field. So the officials called the right call, but the call was a little bit late. Now, Doris Burke was saying the same like Eric Spoelstra, complaining that yes, it was the foul on Derek White, but the call was not on time. That was her complaint. And after the review, of course, it was Boston ball, and the foul was whistled. This is the right call, of course. First of all, this is absolutely right call, and I have explanation for Mrs. Burke. The call was not on time because the officials are having feel for the flow of the game. They let Derek White dribble. When he lost the ball, they called the foul, which was the right call because it was the foul of Jimmy Butler, I believe, on Derek White. They didn't let the Heat to have advantage in this situation. They just let the situation and the play unfolds. So when they saw that the Heat got advantage of the play, they stopped it and they called a foul. It is example of the good officiating, and she was just jumping and screaming nonsense in the microphone, getting on my nerves. I mean, you don't have anything to complain about. The non-call at the first time of this foul was right because the Celtics had the ball. When the Celtics lost the ball, the officials called a foul because they didn't want Miami to benefit from this situation because foul is not allowed in the NBA. The last I know, right?
Mm-hmm.
What do you say about that particular situation?
Yeah, I didn't see that. Well, I think I know what play you're talking about. I wasn't paying attention to Doris Burke. I usually don't.
Yeah. She was jumping. This is hit ball. This is hit ball. He crossed over the. Yes, it was the foul. But I mean, just read the rules, woman, before getting
Yeah, I mean, like
on.
advantage rules are important because otherwise you have more disruption to the flow of the game, and like as a commentator, she should know that that's something that the NBA is very adamant in trying to avoid. It's like that's why they let Giannis take like 15 steps
Of
before he
course,
goes in
of
for a dunk.
course,
Is
of
the
course.
idea that you don't want to interfere with the flow of the game. You want the game to flow because at the end of the day, the NBA is entertainment. And it's not that entertaining if they blow the whistle immediately every time and play keeps stopping. They want to give these guys a chance to play through it, and thereby create a situation where fans can watch a well flowing game.
Absolutely, absolutely. What I wanted to add, talking about the Knicks game, in the first game for Boston, like I said, Porzingas faced off against former team in Madison Square Garden, and he had 30 points, 8 of 15 shooting, 5 of 9 for threes, 8 blocks, 8 rebounds, and 4 blocks. Down the stretch, Celtics leaned on Porzingas as off-the-ball threat next to Tatum, and he delivered by hitting the clutch three-pointer when it was tied 101-101. That three-pointer gave Boston the lead, 104-101. And as for Holiday, Jrue Holiday, despite shooting 4 of 10 from the floor and scoring 9 points, he was the defensive mastermind, and he proved everyone that he is going to be Defensive Player of the Year candidate. Holiday was all over the Knicks last night, not letting them get a single easy shoot off. What is crazy? That Julius Randle, Jalen Brunson, RJ Barrett, those three, Randle, Brunson, and Barrett, they shoot just 2 of 18 combined on the floor when guarded by Holiday. I think I have pictures somewhere. So they are 2 of 18 guarded by Holiday. Randle shooted 1 of 10 in 23 possessions guarded by Holiday. Jalen Brunson went 0 of 4 in 17 possessions guarded by Holiday. And RJ Barrett went 1 of 4 in 6 possessions guarded by Holiday. One of the most underrated players in the league in several years. Holiday continues to show the hustle plays every single night. He is already proven champion, veteran point guard, and he was brought to do one job to help Boston get back and win the NBA Finals. What he did against the Knicks defensively was impressive to me. What do you say?
Yeah, I mean, I've always thought Holiday was very underrated. I've never really been sure why. I mean, like he's a champion. I think some of it's because like Giannis was phenomenal the year that Milwaukee won, and I think people. I mean, like people don't talk about what Chris Middleton did either in that championship run, even because all the focus was on how great Giannis is. But I mean, Holiday was a big contributor to that team. This is a guy who averages like 16 points a game over the course of his career. He's very efficient. He's considered by a lot of NBA players to be the best guard defender in the NBA.
Absolutely.
So it's crazy. Like you said, I think he's one of the most underrated players in the league. He is a guy who's incredibly good on both ends of the floor. He's a true two-way, he's a true elite two-way player. There's not a lot of those. I mean, when you think about it, how many truly elite two-way players are there? You have like Kawhi, you have Paul George. You could make a case for Tatum or Brown. And beyond that, that's a pretty small list of guys that are truly elite on both ends of the court.
Okay, I want to talk, for example, let's mention Jalen Brown before talking about the bad things that I noted this game, but this is nothing, alarming, just some couple of bad trends that I noted in these two games, or bad things, maybe not trends, that will be corrected in the future. But before that, what do you say about Jalen Brown? I think the Jalen Brown performance last night against Miami he was the best player on the floor
Mhm.
alongside Derek White. I mean, what I noted is that Jalen Brown is going to be one of the players that is going to require the most time to get in his rhythm. But last night he caught the rhythm in the right time in the second half, took over the game, and gave the Celtics the lead and the necessary leadership. Because Tatum only had like 4 points in the fourth period or second half, something like that.
Yeah.
And Jalen Brown and Derek White, they took over. What do you say about Brown?
Yeah, so I think both games actually pretty good with Jalen Brown. I mean, like the first game, he only scored 11 points. He didn't hit us. He missed all four of his 3-point shots. But I think what people miss is that he had 5 assists in that game too. So like when
Mm-hmm.
this team has so much talent, when his shot isn't falling, which it wasn't falling against the Knicks, he was doing the
Mm.
right thing by making passes to guys that were able to get buckets. And that's going to be really big with how much talent there is on this team. So these guys know when they're not on and when somebody else is. And when they're not on, they're passing the ball to the open man. And conversely, his shot is falling against the Heat. And so he became aggressive in that game. He doubled his shots the first game because he had 22 attempted field goals. He shot 42, almost 43% from beyond the arcs, 27 points. And so that's kind of what, he's doing what he needs to do on this team. When his shots falling for him and when other guys are struggling, he's being aggressive, he's scoring, he's leading the team. But when his shot isn't falling and, Porzingis and Tatum were hot, he was passing the ball, moving the ball on. And so I really like what I've seen from Jalen Brown. I think he has probably the hardest role out of any of the star players on this Celtics team this year because like Holiday is, he could be a primary ball handler, he could be a initiator for the offense. We already know Holiday can do that. Porzingis is, going to be the center no matter what. There's nobody else who's really challenging him. Tatum is, like the anointed superstar of the team. It's Jason Tatum's team. And so Jalen Brown's kind of in that difficult position where he's primarily like a two-way scorer on a team that has a lot of scoring talent. But what I've seen is really promising. So it shows that he's understanding that role and filling it very well.
One thing that I forgot to say about Jrue Holiday, I mean, when I was talking about his guarding guys, I mentioned that he was guarding Julius Randle, he was guarding Jimmy Butler, he was guarding Thomas Robinson in a couple of possessions, and when the reporters asked. Uh, I mean, Celtics coach Mazzulla, I believe, at the press conference after Miami game, like, are you concerned, or after New York game, I forgot, are you concerned about Jrue Holiday, guarding power forwards like Julius Randle or Jimmy Butler, the players that are taller and having more weight than Jrue Holiday? Are you concerned about other opponents searching for those kind of mismatches? And I think that Al Horford and Joe Mazzulla answered uh, uh, answered at the same time. The question was because he was guarding Jimmy Butler, and Jimmy Butler is tough guy, and they responded like, "Oh, but Jrue Holiday is tough guy as well." And Horford added that he is a truck.
Yeah.
This man, he's a truck. So at practices, he's guarding me, and we kind of like Marcus Smart. He can at some possessions, not the full time, guard the power forwards, right, from one to
Yeah, I
four.
mean, Holiday's a very strong player. Yeah, he's very similar to Smart. Like, he's a very strong guard. I think he's like 2 inches taller than Smart, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
Holiday's like six
Yes,
six, I think, or six
six
five.
six, 6'6".
Yeah, so he's
Very
two
true.
inches taller too, and like so. I mean, he could switch onto anybody basically up to a power forward and not really be at that big a disadvantage.
Hmm. Uh, one thing now, bad things or whatever you want to call them,
The bench.
uh, the bench. But I want to mention 3-point shooting of opponents. Somehow, Celtics are letting opponents shooting their threes, and opponents they are hitting those threes. Miami shooted 33 threes, scored 16. And against New York, I will answer you in 1 minute. So against New York was shooting 41 threes and scored 18 threes. So it was plus 6. It was plus 18 from the 3-point line for New York because the Celtics scored 12 threes against New York, struggled a little, and New York scored 18 threes. So 16 threes made by Miami in TD Garden the other night. So, in other words, Andy, the Celtics are letting opponents to shoot a lot of threes, and they are scoring. Also, they are making a lot of threes as well. So this is nothing because I underlined that this is game number 2 of the season, but this is just one thing in the defensive schemes and perimeter defense that you are noting. You're making in the notebook the trend, and if it repeats 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 7 times, then maybe this is going to be the problem. But for now, it is not the problem because the Celtics are crushing the glass and they are going to the line often, right?
Yeah, the opposing 3-point percentage, I'm not really sure how it's happening, to be honest, because we have very good defensive guards, we have good defensive wings.
Yeah, maybe
Some of their
because of the
shots,
schemes. Maybe
yeah,
because
some of it, like Tyler Hero made some crazy shots, and so did
shots.
Brunson. And
Oh,
you can't stop those. But I'm looking at guys coming off the bench more. Like Quickly had like a really good shooting night against us. I think he was like what 71%, 70% from beyond the arc against us, and then Drew Smith on the Heat was 75% against us, 3 for 4, and Duncan Robinson was
yes,
three
yes,
for
yes, yes,
six.
yes, 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 yes,
And
yes, yes,
Boston has
yes.
had this we've had this problem over the last few years where there always seems to be like a guy coming off the bench that just lights us up. And
Yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
not sure if it's schemes or
Absolutely. For example, Emmanuel quickly is always motivating himself from the Knicks against the Celtics. And if you're a betting man, when the Knicks are playing against the Celtics, you can bet over for Emmanuel quickly every single time and get your money. Because Emmanuel quickly is playing against the Celtics just like he is fighting for his life. So,
yeah.
for some reasons, some players are motivated against the Celtics.
Yeah, I've wondered if some of it is like when we go to the bench unit, we match bench with bench, or I'm not sure. I'd have to watch a lot more of their game footage, but yeah, that's something we
Mm,
have to look at. And that is a concern because it's going to be hard to advance to the playoffs if your opponents are shooting over
yeah.
42% from beyond the arc on volume.
And if the opponents are outscoring you from the 3 points line, it is really tough to win the games, and the games are going to be first of all over points, over 200 points every time, and you are going to be forced to crash the glass and to outscore your opponents in the 2 pointers and in the free throw battle. You're going to be forced to chase the second chance points and that kind of stuff if your opponent is plus 18 from the 3 points line battle.
Yeah.
You must have advantage in the free throws. You must have advantage in the second chance points. Like we did it against New York, we did it against Miami, but we have to defend the 3 points line better because we can do it. We have solid defensive guards,
We should have the best perimeter defense in the NBA,
defensive
I think.
guards. Yeah, definitely,
Like not
definitely.
just the guards, like forwards too. Jason and Jalen,
Forwards,
like
Jason and
we
Jalen.
should have the best perimeter defense in the NBA.
Absolutely. The another thing for concern, again underline, it is just the game two. Celtics bench a concern. The win against the Knicks was surely a statement sent by the Celtics because Porzingas and Holiday seems to fit right alongside the team. Even though Brown had only 11 points, Boston scored 108 points against the Knicks and won. So even against success against Miami, what's concerning about the Celtics is that they are lacking overall depth. At the beginning of year, everyone is healthy and refreshing after off season. As the season progresses, the Celtics are going to be able to avoid. If the Celtics are going to avoid injuries, everything is going to be okay. But some of their big names will miss some time, and maybe Boston won't have to deal with long-term injury of the stars, but they will need secondary players to step up and to help to take the load of the backs of Tatum, Brown, Porzingas, and Holiday. As right now, the Celtics do not have reliable scoring option of their bench. Only Al Horford, who is 37 and playing 17th NBA season. Against the Knicks, for example, Peyton Pritchard, whom we are watching, expecting the points, didn't shine in scoring duties. Also, Peyton Pritchard, Sam Hussier, Luke Cornett against the Knicks were only players beside Horford to come off the bench. So against the bench, we played 9-man rotations, and we are shooting over 1 of 9 combined. And Pritchard was the only player to each his name in the scoring column with only 4 total points. By trading away Malcolm Brogdon, Robert Williams III, Grant Williams, and Marcus Smart, the Celtics no longer have reliable depth on the bench to help guide them deep in the postseason like last couple of years in the case of injuries. Teams that look to get out in transition to wear the Celtics down could wind up exposing Boston, especially if they are already down a man or two in the middle of the season or end of foul troubles. For example, last night when Porzingas was out in the second half with 6 fouls. So after 2 games, nobody should be overreacting. Adjustments will be made, and the other players will eventually step up when their name is called. For the Celtics, though, it's hard to imagine they will receive a ton of productions in the course of the season outside of the 6 starting caliber players. In order to contend for championship, Boston will need all their stars healthy. Yes, but I was talking at the beginning of the season. You will recall, Andy, and I'm going to repeat, the Celtics need a center. The Celtics have tools to get backup center, and the Celtics need scoring wing 2-3 of the bench. And when we're talking about that, I think that it is mistake not going after Philadelphia 76ers Kelly Oubre Jr. He was free, and here when we were presenting Andy the list of free agents available, Kelly Oubre Jr. was available a very, very long time in the offseason. And then he signed for Philadelphia 76ers. Okay, they could offer him more money maybe than us, but what we can offer is contendership to contend for the championship. And maybe we would be able to sign him for mid-level exception or for even veteran minimum. Look how he was playing against Milwaukee Bucks. I think that Kelly Oubre is going to be the good player for Philadelphia, and I'm sorry that we didn't sign him. Right?
I don't think we could have avoided him.
Okay,
Yeah.
just saying. Okay, I mean, we could try to negotiate with him. I think that we didn't even try. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, the Philadelphia could paid him more than we could pay him, without a shadow of a doubt. But we could try to lure him here. I'm giving just example of the player that we should target. We should target the forward wing, scoring wing of the bench. One name that the blogs and the sites are quoting is ex Indiana. I think TJ Warren is one of the guys mentioned. A couple of other forwards. And about backup center, we will see. I mean, for now, everything is okay, but I do not trust Luke Cornett. I will underline that. If Luke Cornett, if we get to the point where we must rely heavily on Luke Cornett, we are just screwed, I believe.
We'll probably go small a lot. And that's probably what would happen.
Your man Oshie Brissett, he got a lot of credit last night from Tatum, from the others, from
Yeah.
Al Horford, because Tatum said when we were down in the first period against Miami that Oshie Brissett came in and he was crushing the boards. He was having a couple of important rebounds. And he was, despite having 2 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 turnovers, he was having one huge block. He was crushing the boards and one offensive, rebound and score after it. He scored after it, and he was crushing the board, and he brought energy of the bench. And this is exactly what the bench players should bring in to the team when they came to the court, when they come to the court, when they enter the game, they should bring energy of the bench. And Tatum and the others, they were prizing Oshie Brissett for going in and bringing in energy with him of the bench against Miami, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think when we talked about the bench, like Pritchard and Hauser have been very disappointing to start the season.
Hmm.
Um, especially Pritchard, I kind of expected him to carry on some of the aggressiveness from preseason.
Hmm.
It's just like he faded completely once the regular season started. So hopefully that changes. Yeah, I think Sam Hauser, like if he can't string together some decent performances,
He should
I
be
feel like
traded.
we should play Spee and see if Spee does better than he does. I mean,
He should be traded. I mean, we should try to
I wouldn't
bring.
be super eager to like. I wouldn't be jumping up and down to trade him because I mean, like, we're not really going to get
Hmm.
anything if he doesn't put together
Hmm.
good performances. So it doesn't really benefit us to
Hmm.
trade him.
Hmm. Okay.
But at least start bringing in like Spee or a guy who could make a difference, who could score
we
points.
we could we could try Svi Mihalyuk. We
Yeah.
could try Lamar Stevens. We have Lamar Stevens who is having the
Um,
solid two-way performances in the preseason.
but
Svi Mihalyuk,
I
yeah,
also think though it's way too early to start talking about making those changes because we're 2 games into the season. The last thing you want to
yeah,
do
yeah, right.
is like overreact and
let's
hold these
let's
guys minutes and
yeah, yeah,
undermine their
yeah, yeah.
confidence.
let's let's
So
let's wait 12 games. But again, to underline, Andy, what I dislike is against Miami, let me just tell you the minutes that the guys played, and I'm going to underline that this is the game number two of the game number two of the regular season. uh, I mean, let me just find it. Tatum must not play in the regular season like 40 minutes of the game. So Tatum played 41 minutes. Holiday played 36 minutes. Porzingas 30, Brown 33, White 36. So Holiday 36, White 36, and Tatum 4. Tatum must not play 41 minutes in the game number two of the regular season. Full stop. I mean,
But like I said,
what
I'm not concerned about it. It's one game. It's early in the season. Missoula is going to push that lineup as long as he can, because he
Mhm.
wants them to get time together.
Okay, I understand that, and your argument is very solid, alongside with the arguments that Tatum is young and Brown is young and Derek
Well,
White and Holiday. Holiday is older, but
yeah.
he's strong. Yes, I understand that, but again, we must find a way to rotate better, to include Svi Mikhailiuk, to include Stevens, to include Vanton, to include Brissett, to combine those second units and to find the reliable second unit. Play Svi Mikhailiuk. He was having 15 and how much 17 points in back-to-back preseason games. Why not try the man instead of Sam Hauser? Why Sam Hauser should have his place in the rotation just cemented? I didn't see something extraordinary nor spectacular that he did to deserve, the spot, the spot in the rotations.
Well, they
Uh,
did. They cut Hauser's minutes, but they brought Brissett in off the bench instead.
Okay, so we will see. Like you said, and I underline, it is just 2 games in the regular season. We said good things, we said bad things. Overall, Joe Missoula, to conclude the story, he was doing better job as a coach. Okay, he brought in and he found the great lineup and the right lineup against the Knicks in the fourth period. He was calling timeouts at the right time. He was doing the right moves. He was doing the right substitutions, and let's give the man some credit because we were criticizing him enough the last year. Don't you think?
Yeah, I think so. I think the big thing is like with the lineups and the rotations. I'm assuming they're going to change as the season moves on.
Hmm.
I think Missoula, this is kind of the lineup he wanted to run with based on what he's seen in like the training camp and some of the preseason. And I think he's probably going to run with this for at least like the next game. And I would say maybe even the first 5 games until we start see is when we might see him start to tinker with the lineups a lot more. It's just trying to get a decent sample of games to determine who's going to play where. I think Missoula's looked great this season. He looks a lot more confident in all of his appearances. I think that's really good for this team.
Okay, let's mention the other games. Let's mention the other teams. You saw Milwaukee, Philadelphia. I mean, do do you think that Philadelphia is legit? They're losing from Toronto right now, 25-17. For me,
Philadelphia is in an awful position thanks to James Harden. James Harden is like
okay.
he has passed Kyrie Irving as the most toxic player you could possibly bring onto your team. Kyrie
Yeah.
Irving only wishes he could be as toxic as James Harden. Um, I think a lot of people overreacted to the Bucks. They had a very good win, but the Sixers are a
Yeah.
struggling team right now.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
basically
Yeah. Yeah.
Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey, I guess. And Damian Lillard had a good game, but if you look at Dame's efficiency stats, they actually weren't that good. He was not that efficient. He wasn't bad, like poor efficiency, but he wasn't elite efficiency. The reason he had 39 points is because they let him go to the free throw line 17 times.
Yes. Yes. Of
So
course. Without another legit star in the place of the in the place of in the place of James Harden, if they do not find another star, I don't
they're
think that
not going
they
to.
will be.
I mean,
They are
nobody's
not
going to trade a star for James Harden at this point. I mean, if
right.
I was Daryl
Right.
Morey, what I would do, or not Daryl Morey, if I was Nick Nurse, You know what I would do is I would make James Harden attend every game. And I'd make him stand on the sidelines and hand out towels and water bottles to the guys who are actually playing.
Right. Anyway, I think that the race again is between Celtics and Milwaukee, but the team that can surprise us or Milwaukee is
Cleveland.
Miami, maybe Cleveland. Cleveland is full. They brought in some shooting in Cleveland.
I'm
Yeah,
still going to stand by Brooklyn. If Ben Simmons comes back and his like and play at like the old Ben Simmons level, like the All Star Ben Simmons level,
hmm
like that team will be a lot better than people think it is.
Okay. Cleveland is running the lineup of Max Strus. Max Strus, ex-Celtics player, ex-Miami player, he
Mhm.
is in Cleveland. So Dean Wade, Isaac Okoro, ex-Atlanta, Evan Mobley, their rookie, Donovan Mitchell. So they have Caris LeVert, they have George Niang, they have Damian Jones and Jerome. Cleveland, very good team and very, plus they missed Jarrett Allen. So they played without Jarrett Allen, one of my favorite centers at the
Mhm.
Eastern Conference. Let me comment, for example, two more teams, and we're going to finish. Denver first. They defeated Memphis the other night 108-104. The similar results to the Celtics and Knicks, and I think that Phoenix Suns defeated the first game Warriors the same result or
Yeah.
similar. So Nikola Jokic is starting for them for Denver. Contavious Caldwell Pope, Michael Porter Jr., Gordon and Murray. Practically they brought everyone back. Reggie Jackson, six man of the bench. They are six deep. They are running Peyton Watson as shooting guard. They are Christian Brown. He played last year shooting guard. Reggie Jackson, six man, and they're playing 3 years in the NBA from Arizona. Power forward Zeke Naji. They lost some players, but pretty much like I said, they are legit, and everybody in Denver they knows what they are doing. So they are going to be in the finals, I believe, again. Jokic is playing like MVP, and Murray is there healthy right now, and nothing to be said anymore. What do you say about the champs? Do you have something to add about the champs?
No, I mean I was actually surprised Memphis played them as closely as they did.
Yeah. Without their first star, who is waving with the guns on the Instagram. So yeah, Memphis they are starting. Zaire Williams, not Zion, but Zaire Williams. Uh, then they are starting Xavier Tillman Senior power forward, Desmond Bain, Marcus Smart as point guard, and Jared Jackson Jr. So Derrick Rose is coming off the bench from Memphis. John Conchar. One very interesting team, Memphis. Young team, fun to watch and fun to root for. Smart is there, so go watch Memphis sometimes. And what do you say about a rejuvenated, highly hyped Phoenix Suns team? Can Phoenix Suns team get into the NBA Finals and uh, you know deliver a joy to the majority of USA journalists?
I think they could if they could all stay healthy. I actually liked the Suns against Denver if they're all healthy. I Nurkic actually plays Jokic pretty well usually. So
Yeah, he's physical. They have
yeah,
the duels from Adriatic League. They have the duels from Adriatic League. Jokic played for Mega, and Nurkic played for Cedevita Zagreb. So they played against each other from Adriatic Basketball League. Yeah, you're
yeah,
correct.
they play each other really well. So and if Nurkic can limit Jokic at all, I think that I mean KD is obviously much better than anybody else on the Suns, and I think Booker, Beal, and Murray are all kind of in the same general league. So I think Phoenix is the more talented team at that point,
Mm-hmm.
but they're also the one that I would question the health of a lot more, especially KD. KD seems to struggle with making it through a season healthy right now.
Phoenix Suns, they played without Bradley Beal. Bradley
Mhm.
Beal is there. Their usual starting lineup: Bradley Beal, Devin Booker, Grayson Allen, Kevin Durant, Yusuf Nurkic. Bradley Beal is replaced by Josh Okogie,
Mhm.
small forward, and they have Watanabe, Eubanks, Eric Gordon, and Jordan Goodwin, point guard from the bench. Really, really solid team, talented team, like you said, and the contender at the Eastern Conference, at the Western Conference, to challenge Denver, I believe. The good thing for us Celtics fan is that. Uh, Lakers are not starting good. Anthony Davis is not playing good. He had one good halftime or one good game. One good halftime is the good expression, but other than that, I think that he played bad, and the Lakers are not looking. Didn't start well. Maybe it will be changed, of course. But pretty much the games are fun. The games are competitive, and they're fun to watch. Whatever game you're watching, you are going to see some good players and exciting games, right?
Yeah, no, I agree.
Okay, for the end of the show, we are wrapping up the show. Uh, let's quickly say about the future Celtics games and wrap up the show. Number 42, I think that we expanded everything that we talked about. All that, yeah, we didn't talk about one thing. Yeah, we forgot. What do you say about Nathan Knight? The Celtics signed Nathan Knight, the power forward, small forward, on the two-way deal in the place of Jay Scrub. So, do you have some thoughts about that? He had one good game against the Celtics, if you recall. He was, I think, with the Knicks, I believe, whatever, but he had the good game. So maybe Nathan Knight can surprise us sometimes, right?
Maybe. I mean, I think it's more a question of, how many minutes does he get up in Maine, but we'll see.
Okay. The next games for the end: Washington, Monday in Washington, D.C., uh, Jordan Poole and his team. Indiana Wednesday, and Brooklyn Saturday. What do you expect from these games? Washington away, Indiana, and Brooklyn in Boston.
Well, we should win all those games.
Okay, and finally, so to conclude the show, I think, Andy, that it is safe to say that the Celtics started season well. They are still having time. They still need time to gel together, but overall, we must be happy with the outcome of the games and the way the Celtics were playing, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think they've looked pretty good. I mean, there's been a couple of rough spots, the bench, the perimeter shooting, but I mean, we've had a tough start to the season. We've played two teams that are probably going to be in the playoffs for the
They are
first 2 games
legit.
of the season. We've won both games.
Mhm.
So I think Celtics fans should be pretty excited for this season and, a little bit patient too. These guys need some time to learn to play together, and that there's going to be some
Absolutely.
growing pains.
Absolutely. If you gave the last core like 4 or 5 years credit to show what they can do, then you can give this core like 12 games at least or 20 games to
Yeah.
gel together, right?
Yeah, I
And
agree.
okay, that's it, Andy. Thank you. So Monday in Washington D.C., Jordan Poole and his staff. Boston Celtics. Root for the Celtics. Stay with end.Zone Sports Talk Radio and listen to Shamrock Sport Talk Show. We are going to talk with you the next Saturday. We are going to talk about the three games that I mentioned: Indiana, Washington, and Brooklyn. Until then, we are wishing you all the best and root for the Celtics. Go Celtics and have a good night. Right, Andy?
Yeah, definitely. Have a good night. Go Celtics.
Go Celtics.
Thank you for listening to the Shamrock Sports Talk Show. We're here every Saturday from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are the best four-leaf lucky show in the area. This show comes to you by way of the end.Zone Sports Talk Show Network, LLC. And be sure to download the Try99 TV app on any smart device and subscribe to end.Zone Sports Talk Television. The cost is $4.95. Thank you in advance for your support. Hello, and thank you for tuning in to the end.Zone Sports Talk Show Network, LLC, where you can find the best in sports talk television and radio shows. Mondays, check out the Just Us Sports Talk Show from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with your hosts, Kevin L. Dixon and Dana Clark. Then Tuesday, we have the Stars Talking Cowboys Sports Show from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern with your hosts, Sean Fox, K Boogie, and Cowboys Nikki. And on Wednesday, tune in for the Out the Block Sports Talk Show from 8:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with hosts Robert Lewis, Donna Hainsworth, and Brett Shields. Then meet up with us on Saturday for the Enhanced Sports Talk Show from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern with hosts Lou Tenor and Steve Davidson. We also have the DMV Sports Talk Show from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern with your host Razul McGee. As well, we have the Shamrock Sports Talk Show from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern with Igor Mitic and Andy Vernon. Finally, rounding out the week, we have on Sunday, That's Not How We See It Sports Talk Show from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern with your host, Alfred Wallace, Tony Wallace, and Harold Robinson III. These shows come to you by way of the end.Zone Sports Talk Show Network, LLC. Be sure to download the Try99 TV app on any smart device and subscribe to end.Zone Sports Talk Television. The cost is $4.95. Thank you in advance for your support. Hello, and thank